Hello, my name is Matthew Marvin. I'm a 34-year-old traveling poker player. Today I will be reviewing two hands that I played at the 1010 XL main event live stream in Jacksonville, Florida at Best Bet. I talked to you guys a lot about bluffing, but what I also wanted to cover was when not to bluff. This hand is going to start around an hour in the filming. I'm 2 spots away from the button. Everybody folds to me. I see an ace. I min raise. The reason behind the min raise this time is because 2 of the strongest players at the table are behind me. The player to my left is tight and will most likely fold. The strong player in the small blind folds. If he has nothing, big blind is a tight player. If he doesn't fold, it's not a big deal. I'm worried about the strong player on the button. Luckily, everyone folds except the big blind, and I'm pretty much excited because I'm home free. I know which way the chips are most likely to go. By the way, I've got ace-9 offsuit. My opponent has king-5 offsuit. I introduced the cards to you at this point because honestly, the cards are irrelevant. I'm looking to bluff. And then the good old poker guys throw a monkey wrench into my plans. Flop comes 8-2 jack, all diamonds. Now I know a lot of you will bluff at this board, but this is where you should be slowing down. One thing that is difficult for a lot of players after they learn how to bluff is when to stop bluffing. You don't want to be bluffing in spots where your opponents could be trapping you. Bluffing in poker can easily be considered an addiction. The difference between being an addict and a pro poker player is self-control. Once you lose self-control, you become an addict. Bluffing on this board may work a few times until it doesn't. Those times when it doesn't work out is usually the point where you lose more than you have won from bluffing here. If anyone bets into this board texture with all 3 diamonds out there, I definitely re-raise 100% of the time. Because if you had a flush, if you flop it, you wouldn't bet it. You'd sit on it and trap the other player. You guys can take this advice or leave it. Both me and my opponent missed the flop, turn, and river. Unknown to me, I had the best hand, but my opponent bluffed me off of it at the end. Great bet by my opponent, who I tagged as a tight player. If I could play this hand again without knowing my opponent's cards, I would play it the exact same way. Plus, that fold and tight play helped my table image a little bit. As long as you keep your opponents guessing, you're ahead. The next hand I'm going to review would be a semi-bluff. It's going to start around 1 hour, 29 minutes, and 45 seconds. Blinds are 1,000 and 2,000 plus antes. Second to act calls. Seat 2 also calls. The player to my right folds. Everyone folds all the way to the big blind, who checks. Big blind has 10-4 offsuit. Seat 1 had pocket 5s. Seat 2 had 9-7. I limp in with king jack suited. 4 players to the flop. I have position. Flop comes 6 ace 9. It checks around to me. There's $11,000 in the pot. I bet 4,000. Here I feel like an underbet is appropriate. It's more of a pot builder than a bluff. It's most likely that none of my opponents have an ace, because if they did, they should definitely be betting. All 3 of my opponents fold, and I win a 4-way pot with king high.